One time I came back here, I was buying a book in the Queens Museum, and I was sitting by the Unisphere, and it was like before a rainstorm coming. I had this like a mystical feeling. It was very strange, like I was being transported back to 1939.
Most people, they will remember, one of the things they'll remember in their life is when they went to a World's Fair. Many things they just slip out of mind over the years. But people who went to a World's Fair, whether they liked it or not, most people remember when they've been to a World's Fair. They always remember. That's one of the ththings they remember. What do you think? Do you agree with me?
I'm a native New Yorker. I'm 67 years old, and I attended the 1964 and 65 New York World's Fair many times.
I lived in Brooklyn all my life, and I came to the fair first time in 1964. I came with my boyhood friend Leonard DeMeglio, who lived right next door to me. Everything was just totally great.
I always had like a spirit of adventure, and I had a couple of nerd friends as well. And we weren't like Big Bang Theory kind of nerds. We were more into like finding an abandoned building or a vacant lot, and that was a planet, or our fortress of solitude.
That decade was really a watershed, a turning point, and the fair was right at that turning point. People were looking forward to it. They wanted something, they wanted an escape. They wanted to see all these great new gadgets and gizmos that they had been hearing about.
You sat in 3 chairs and you moved through the pavilion past dioramas that showed future cities, the world of tomorrow, and you'd hear a synchronized soundtrack.
You would go from the surface of the moon to underwater or someplace where they're building, they were supposed to have, by now they're supposed to have hotels and motels and everything else, cities down underwater, according to them.
Multiple images all going at once, where when you view all the screens together, they create an impression, an illusion.
Flags, fountains, bands walking by, the buildings.
To this day, I've still never seen a collection of buildings in one spot that are as diverse as what was at the fair.
Riding on the People Wall, which was a giant wall, like a big grandstand.
It was very, very steep, as I recall, and then it lifted up by an elevator into the egg itself, and that's where the show was, to show how computers could solve things. That was right behind the lake over here, right behind the lake there, and it was a backdrop, nice backdrop. I went to the top there the last day. I went up, I took the elevator, and I took pictures, slides of the fairgrounds. Your last shot, you know.
I wasn't here on the last day, but I was here about 2 weeks before it closed. And I knew that was really going to be my last look at it. It was really kind of sad. Nothing really ever replaced it. I mean, I came 12 times, it wasn't enough. It really wasn't enough.
I think for the public, it came and went. This was a certain chapter, and now that was closed, and people moved on to other things.
When I came here about 20 years after the fair to take photographs, I was walking through here with a 35mm camera taking stills, and it was like really an emotional day, because it was sad just seeing all the pavilions gone. We don't have the fair here today, but we have our memories. So as we walk around here, we see trees, we see walkways, we see kids on skateboards, but in our minds, we're superimposing buildings that we remember being here.
I would go and buy the book like Jim has and sit here and look at the maps and whatever and orient myself. I learned here privately and got to know rebuilt the fair in my mind, you know, while sitting here.
Just walk around, just walk around and remember the place, and just reminisce, that's all, just reminisce.
I think I'm more into it now than I was when I was there. I appreciate it more now.
You know, as we get older, People start remembering things when they're younger.
As they become more and more dated, it makes people think, you know, wow, remember when all we wanted to do was to land on the moon or go to Mars, or, you know, this was the last gasp of the old American dream. We lost our innocence. We lost our ability to dream. Sure, it's nostalgic. It's me grabbing onto, you know, I'm never going to give up that kid, you know.
I came over here, we wanted to put the flag up. I had a World's Fair flag, and I wanted to put the flag up over here by the Gotham Gate, and unfortunately the Parks Department wouldn't let us do it. So I still got the flag there, and if we ever get a permission, we'll bring it over and put it up there for the day.